Made a bit of progress with this handle, and it's feeling quite comfortable. So I just intuitively am balancing the shape of the natural form. You can see that this was the grain of the cherry where it met the burl. So this was right at the edge of a thick burl. It's really almost mostly cherry grain. So we're running out of burl here on this side. So I'm not going to cut in much more here. Looks kind of like a boot. I wouldn't normally consider putting such a huge boot on a handle, but it was there to start out. So I'm going to try and keep it as much as possible, as with this imp thing, which is starting to go. I mean, it may have to go, because if I cut down a little more here, this piece is gonna... Oh, well, there we go. It's not an imp anymore. Now it's gonna go. We've got enough thickness, I think. I like the handle on that other knife. It was pretty slender in the end, and that suited me fine. I have big hands. You'd be hard pressed to find someone with a hand span as big as mine. That's over 9 inches. But, you know, it's not necessarily true what they say about men with big hands. I wear a size medium glove in most instances. So, yeah, I cut a little bit with my saw so I can show you present my saw. I was in the thrift store. I found a couple of these silky blades. Very fine-toothed, incredibly thin. It was just the blades, so I made a handle. Piece of pine, a couple of pins. I think I whittled the pins by hand. Now I have a Dremel mini lathe I can use for making pins. It's a good saw. I'll probably use this saw for splitting this down the middle. And, you know, I was faffing around, and this is the blade that I'd thought to use for my replacement puko. So I spent a lot of time on that chisel blade, and it was a very good knife. It worked well. I used it for finishing poles and stuff. But you know, then I went and did that Buck Maverick thing. I was like, wow, this stainless Buck steel is pretty nice. And so I took a gamble and got this. It's called the Pursuit. I cut the handle off with the Sawzall. It has a very different kind of handle, put it that way. Had it. They also make one in S30V, I think, some kind of super steel. But that one was a lot more expensive, and I'm interested in this classic 420 HC with the Buck heat treatment. So, considering how I'm going to mate this, you know, this is going to need some grinding and some consideration. I don't like these things. I don't like them. This one had a massive one. It was all the way down to here. I'm not kidding. It went. I like to choke up, you know. I like to cut myself more than have one of these things. Anyway. So we'll grind a bit off here, grind a bit off there, maybe. Maybe keep the lanyard hole shape. And of course, the shit tang, right? Why do they put all these holes in it? For me to put pins through. Lots of them in funny shapes, potentially, or something. And there's a consideration, do I want to regrind this? Well, not much. It's really, really good. I mean, it is factory edge, super toothy. It's very shallow hollow grind. I like the finish. So, something different. Just whack that in there. It's a mod. I'm not making a knife then. The other knife, I made it, right? I would say. This, I guess, is modification. But it will be quite different. And looking at it like that, it looks like it could be quite nice, huh?